Mr. Corbyn said that there's a rigged system rigged to favour the wealth extractors. Who are the wealth extractors?
Let me give you an example in relation to the world of work from which I came, and 30 years in the world of work. It cannot be right that the percentage of profit going on wages has fallen dramatically, but the percentage of profit going on top earners has increased dramatically. Boardroom excess.
That's a global phenomenon.
I'm all in favour of rewarding success. Okay. And I've worked with some damn good chief executives in my time, but it cannot be right. And understandably, what working people resent that, and what they want is a fair share.
I understand the argument. He talked about wealthy individuals and corporations, meaning companies, as wealth extractors. Give me an example of a wealth extractor.
Philip Green, for example.
That's an individual. I understand that.
Sure. Well, except that to bring alive what he is saying, what we are saying, is you need to refer to a real example.
Right.
I've met with BHS workers who work, some of them 20 and 30 years.
No, I do. I know.
Suddenly
they lost their jobs through no fault of their own.
Robbed of their pensions.
Philip Green's an individual. He's for Labour a good example. Hold on. Mr. Corbyn said Philip Green should be worried by a Labour government. Why?
Bad employers, wealth extractors, who treat working people shamefully, yes, they should be.
But why? What are you going to do to them?
We will be spelling out in our manifesto the issues that will be central for us at the next stage.
Well, you're going to mention Philip Green in the manifesto?
No. What we are determined to do is to ensure that the voice of working people is properly heard on the one hand.
I understand, but why should Philip Green be worried? What do you have in store for him and the boss of Sports Direct?
Wait and see what we say in our manifesto. But we're sending an unambiguous message, which is we want good employers to succeed.
Of course.
We're not going to allow bad employers to continue to exploit workers.
But you can't tell me yet why he should be worried.
Wait for our manifesto, Andrew.
All right. Well,
all will be revealed.
All right, let's look at some of Britain's big companies to find out how many wealth extractors there are around. Is Tesco a wealth extractor?
Tesco is a company that's done very well. Actually, the relationships between Tesco and its workforce and their trade union, Asda, is a really quite good relationship. Is
it a wealth extractor?
Tesco has sometimes not paid enough to the people that it employs.
So it is.
Would I equate Tesco with Sir Philip Green? Not for one moment.
No, I understand that, but you can't change the British economy the way you want to simply on the basis of Philip Green, whatever it is you have in store for him. So I'm trying to get a wider feel. Is British Telecom a wealth extractor?
British Telecom sometimes leaves something to be desired.
So, but is it a wealth extractor?
But you're not getting the point, Andrew. Is that our criticism, our concern on behalf of working people is those who extract wealth wrongly and at the expense of working people, and who do not treat their workforce fairly or pay them a decent living wage.
Mr. Drumley, I understand the argument. I'm trying to find out who you have in mind. I understand the argument perfectly.
I've given you a couple of examples
already. Let me ask, is British Gas a wealth extractor?
In my former experience in the world of work, I chaired what was called the TUPE Forum that brought together all of the employers, public and private. And what we used to have was good contractors complaining about being undercut by bad contractors. And what we stand for, therefore, Andrew, is an economy of fair treatment, but also fair competition.
You've said all that. I'm trying to find out who is in the crosshairs, because there's a lot hanging on this, and it would be good to know who you think is part of a rigged system that is a cosy cartel. So let me ask again, is Bill Gates a wealth extractor?
Bill Gates is a man who has made a fortune, but he is one of the most outstanding men in the world.
So is he a wealth extractor or not?
He has created wealth which has been spent well not just on his employees, but also not just.
Is he not a wealth extractor?
No, hang on. Not just on technological development, but also the outstanding work that he has done as a great philanthropist throughout the world.
Right. Andrew, look, I know all about Bill Gates.
You're not getting the point.
No, I am getting the point. The point is that you're not answering my question. So let me try again. It's a simple question because Mr. Corbyn has divided the system into wealth creators and wealth extractors. And I'm asking, is Bill Gates a wealth extractor? It's a yes or no.
You're not getting the point.
I'm not getting the answer, Mr. Drummond.
No. We are in favour of the creation of wealth.
Right.
We are in favour.
So is Mr. Gates the wealth creator or the wealth extractor?
Of good employers who create wealth.
Which one is he?
What we want is an economy where you no longer get the rogues undercutting the reputable.
Is British Aerospace
a
wealth extractor?
Is a damn good company.
So it's not a wealth extractor?
I've worked with them over the years.
It's not a wealth
extractor.
extractor.
And they have created wealth on a massive basis.
Is Marks and Spencer's a wealth extractor?
Andrew, I can see what you're trying to do, but you're just missing the point. Look, let me give you this example. I remember, it wouldn't be fair to name, well, why not name it? The company ISS, this was many, many years ago, one of the biggest contractors in the world. And what they said to me was, we want to be good, we want to be better, but our problem is we operate in a competitive environment where we are undercut by the rogues. So what we want to do, therefore, is to transform the nature of the economy so that good companies create wealth and succeed, so that workers benefit as a consequence.
No, you've said that now
and so
5
that rogues
times.
no longer
So other
exploit.
than Philip Green, in your view, who else is a wealth extractor?
We've given 2 specific examples today in terms of the steps that we take at the next stages. You'll have to wait until our manifesto.
So you can't name any more other than 2 rather high-profile, buccaneering businessmen who've had a lot of bad publicity for things they've done.
Unashamedly, those who behave badly should be named and shamed.
Right, but you can't name any more.
And that's what we'll do in future.
Let me try one more time. Who else is a wealth extractor?
Andrew, all you've got to do is to wait for our manifesto. We've sent.
So hold on. Are you going to name the wealth extractors?
We've sent the clearest possible message about the kind of economy we should be, the kind of country we should be, which works for workers and works for good employers.
That's the 6th time you've said that, without actually answering my question. So let me try another one. Do you agree with the Shadow Chancellor that anybody earning over $70,000 a year is rich?
Well, they're not poor, are they?
Well, that's not what I asked. You believe that they're rich?
The average wage is what, £27,000 a year. To earn $70,000 a year is to live comfortably.
Comfortably. MPs earn over $70,000 a year. Are you rich?
Yeah, no. I was brought up in poverty.
I'm not talking about. We're all brought up in different circumstances. You earn over $70,000 a year. Are you rich?
I now get a very good wage.
I understand. I'm not arguing with that.
A very good wage.
But are you rich?
I don't certainly feel rich, no.
So why does the Shadow Chancellor say that the rich will be above 70,000?
The point he was trying to make...
That's the point he was trying to make.
The point he's trying to make is what kind of economy should we have where instead of doing what should be done, which is a fair deal for the great majority of Britain, you've got a government that has been systematically, particularly at the top, handing out tax breaks to the rich, the corporation tax, or a top rate of tax, all of the things that have made those with a lot of money yet more wealthy. But the great majority of ordinary people have lost out, not least because we've had the longest squeeze on real wages in a generation.
Let me ask you this. If 70,000 a year is a good salary. Understand that.
Good salary.
It's good enough for MPs. It's good enough for that. But it may not necessarily make you rich or make you feel that you're rich, particularly if you live in London and the South East, where costs are very high.
Particularly
but
housing.
If you earn 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000, at the moment your marginal rate of tax is 40%.
Yes.
These people can expect to pay a higher marginal rate of tax.
We will spell out in our manifesto our intentions in relation to tax.
Well, you must be. He says that they need to pay their fair share, he says.
Our focus...
So therefore they need to pay more tax.
Our focus is not on low and middle earners. What our focus will be on, first of all, you should pay your tax because there's still too much avoidance of tax. Secondly, if you can afford much more, then you should pay more.
So can people on 70,000 afford more, Mr.
You'll have to
Drummy?
wait for our manifesto. But also, thirdly, what we will do is to end the scandal of tax giveaways to the wealthy, because that's exactly what this government has been doing.
I understand all that, but let me try one more time. If you are earning 70,000 a year, which could be the head of a big English department in a comprehensive, it could be a relatively senior policeman, it could be a doctor, it could be a very senior nurse with a lot of responsibility.
Yep.
On that, you should expect to pay a higher rate of tax.
No. And our tax plans will be our tax plans.
They won't. So for these people, the marginal rate is not going up.
Our tax plans will be spelt out.
Yeah, but you've just said no.
No, our tax plans will be spelt out in the manifesto.
Is it yes or no?
Our focus. And I'm not going to.
I know what your focus is. I'm just asking, is it yes or no for these? There are people watching would like to know, and they may be prepared to do so. Head teachers, JPs, they would like to know if they're going to pay more tax.
They quite like, I suppose, you to give me the opportunity to answer the question.
You've had plenty of opportunities.
Is that the focus for us will be on tackling those who avoid paying their tax, the very top rate earners who can and should pay more. And ending,
does that include people on 70,000?
Ending the giveaways. So, for example, what we...
No, you're not answering my question.
No, well...
We'll have to wait, I guess, for your
until
manifesto.
the manifesto.
There, but you're not going... It's a simple question and not getting it. Let me ask you this. Neil Kinnock says that it's now more unlikely than ever that there'll be a Labour government in his lifetime. Do you agree?
I am absolutely determined that we do not return to the dark days of the 1980s, where we end up with 18 years of a Conservative winter. And I fought with Neil to rebuild the Labour Party.
So do you agree or disagree with
the 1980s? I am absolutely determined.
I know you're determined, but I'm not asking if you're determined. I'm asking if you agree or you disagree with him.
Neil is right to say that we've got responsibility to the British people, and the British people need a Labour government, and therefore we've got to be single-mindedly focused on rebuilding support, gaining power and changing the country for the better. A Labour Britain is always better than a Conservative Britain.
It's a very interesting and forthright answer. It just doesn't bear resemblance to the question I asked. Let me try one more thing. Mr. Corbyn said this morning that the city, he didn't use the words, but he said he was talking about the financial system, the city crashed the economy. Why, after 10 years of a Labour government, did the Labour government allow the city to crash the economy?
I think there was a global problem where governments across the globe did not sufficiently regulate the finance sector. Straight answer to a straight question.
Including the Labour government here.
Labour took a whole series of very welcome steps, interestingly opposed by George Osborne in opposition.
Let's not go through
opposed by the Tories every step of the way.
But you accept that Labour, after 10 years in power, presided over events that crashed the economy?
We took steps to try and change that. The Tories opposed all of that steps. There was then the crash.
But the economy crashed.
There was then the crash, and the appalling thing about what's happened subsequently, Andrew, is it's working people who paid the price. The longest squeeze on real wages.
Which is a point Mr. Corbyn made strongly this morning. Jack Romney, thank you. I hope to see you and be more successful after the manifesto.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.